Hi, Islamic Dad here. Thought I'd do a video to kind of update people and kind of share my thoughts on things this far out. Um, I haven't even done the math recently as far as like the breakup between me and my covert narcissist when she assaulted me and I had to press charges and she went to jail and all that stuff. Think about 2 years um, since then, which is crazy to think. I think I may have mentioned in my last video about how narcissists, a lesson I learned the hard way was that narcissists don't leave you alone even when you leave them. The abuse doesn't end, it just changes. And I had basically written off, my covert narcissist, for some time. Our circles really didn't really cross over at all. There was no contact. And then she started deliberately showing up at one of the clubs that she knew I liked to go to. And she would go there with her friends and, go there with support. And while she didn't confront me directly, she'd always make sure that she sat in a spot that was impossible to miss upon entering the club. Literally, there was no way to enter the club without noticing who was sitting, right there by the entrance. And I don't think that was a coincidence at all. And if you know narcissists, I don't think you think it was a coincidence either. That said, last word I heard was that she had finally, after talking about it for 2 years, moved to England. And so I would like to think that at least that chapter, maybe even that book is over. But one thing I've learned with a narcissist is never say never. I've heard stories about narcissists coming back 10 years later just to mess with people. That said, it's given me, kind of a poke to reevaluate how I see things and narcissism in general, now that there's been that much time away from things and I've kind of been able to clear my head in a lot of respects. And just come back to like something that I had made a video about it, like, I don't know, a year ago, that I don't think that any of it was real, and that I don't think that the narcissists are real people. And that's one of the things that in my videos I've really tried to do, and also when speaking to people in person, I never say, humans or people. I'll say narcissists, and I will make the point. I'll say, no, you have to understand, narcissists are not human beings. They don't operate and think and are motivated by the same things as the rest of the planet. And even if you like look at, the psychology and dig deeper into like the persona and the mask and the core and that type of thing, you learn the narcissist has no core. They have no soul. They are an empty void with a mask, and will play the chameleon in order to get attention and validation and, et cetera, et cetera. But underneath, there's no core person that remains throughout their experiences. There's just this emptiness and this mask that goes over this empty shell. There's nothing inside there. And that's the thing, there is no person wearing the mask. It's just a void. And so anything that, any experience that I had that was warm, like say through like the love bombing or, the middle of the relationship, I've realized that none of that was real. Like that was just the narcissist doing the performance. I mean, that is, the narcissist was doing what narcissists do. That is what they are only capable of. They're not capable of anything else. So it's just this act, this which is very natural for them, but again, there was no person underneath that doing that. That was just the mask the entire time. So all those good memories that I've had to just kind of just throw them in the trash, because I realized, like, in a real respect, they never happened. That was me going to a play. That was me watching a movie. It wasn't real. That was an actress doing lines. That was an actress going through the motions, putting on a performance. It was not real at all. It was an act. And so, the thing, if I could give just, one bit of advice, again, narcissists are not human beings. They're not people. They literally, in my opinion, do not have souls. They are just these chameleons, these masks that go out and manipulate, because that's what they do. I mean, in the same way, you would say, like, oh, a virus attacks cells and, does things and injects into their, nucleus and tries to get them to replicate and stuff. Like, it's not like the virus necessarily has a soul. The virus is just doing what it biologically does. And I don't think that narcissists are that much different than viruses. They just go through the world doing what they do, almost like these programmed entities. There's no, and that's the thing, like, there's really no thought within the mind of a narcissist the way normal people think. It's just these these impulses, these drives, and the narcissist just goes through life compelled to treat this person nicely, to manipulate them, to treat this person cruelly, so that they feel like they are powerful. Like, they're just acting on instinct 24/7. There's no real thoughts in their mind about making decisions the way normal people do. So yeah, I could go on, but I hope you get the idea. It's just, the other thing is, like, as you could probably tell from this line of thought, there's no cure for narcissism. And I know that, like, you may have heard that before, and, it kind of sounds strange, but it's like, it's not even like a disorder or, emotional or mental disorder the same way other things are. Like, you might have, like, say, some form of depression, and maybe you can take medicine and go to psychotherapy and get better. Or you have, a fear of snakes, and then you work to get over that fear of snakes. Like, you can have these disorders and there's treatments for them. There's no treatment for narcissism. They're just, and the reason why is because the narcissist is doing exactly what the narcissist does. It would be like going to a virus that is just wiping out, like, a population, and then being like, hey, Mr. Virus, let's sit down and talk through things. Did you have a bad childhood? Is that the reason you're killing the entire population, Mr. Virus? Is because you had a bad childhood? Here, let's work through that. Here's some pills. Here's some SSRIs. Let's try these pills. Maybe that'll help you not want to kill the population. It's like, no, that's crazy talk. You can't reason with a narcissist because there's nothing to reason with. There is no person underneath the mask to heal. It is just void. It is void and a mask. And the narcissist is just doing what narcissists do. There's nothing to fix or feel sympathetic for or anything. Again, like, narcissists are they're just viruses. They're just, like, germs, just acting out on pure impulse and biologic compulsion. So I'm just saying, do not feel an ounce of sympathy for any narcissist. Do not fool yourself into thinking you can ever change or heal a narcissist. There is nothing to heal. There's nothing to change. That is who they are. They're not a human being. They are a narcissist, and they're doing exactly what is natural for them to do. So, anyways, yeah. So just wanted to give this kind of update, now that I'm a few years out. I'm surprised that my covert narcissist has moved to England. I'm kind of processing my feelings about that, because on one hand, I'm super happy, but on the other hand, it's just kind of making me reevaluate things and just be reminded, like, yeah, all those good memories, those weren't real. So anyways, hopefully this video has been helpful, and if not helpful, at least entertaining.